This telecast is available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma. Greg Schiano leading his Scarlet Knights into their home opener against Illinois with a 1-2 punch in the backfield of Brian Leonard and Ray Rice, who ran for over 200 yards against North Carolina last week. Welcome to Rutgers University in New Jersey as the Fighting Illini take on the Scarlet Knights. Illinois winning in overtime last year in Champaign. This is the second time these two schools have met. Look at our blimp shot. It's a nice day in New Jersey. Temperatures in the high 70s, and good news is we do not expect any rain on the Rutgers campus or the vicinity this afternoon. And welcome to Rutgers Stadium. Pam Moore joined by Mike Gottfried. We saw them in the open, the 1-2 punch in the backfield for Rutgers, starting with the versatile Brian Leonard.
Pam, Brian Leonard is an outstanding back. He can do it all. He can catch a football out of the backfield. He's a big play wide receiver. Hurdled a runner, a defensive player from Illinois last year, and he'll block for Ray Rice. Ray Rice is a quick guy that can get up the football field. He dominated North Carolina. Wow,
201 yards on the ground last week on the road at Chapel Hill. That was a good win for Rutgers. Now for Illinois, not two, but three running backs to talk about, starting with Pierre Thomas.
If Pierre Thomas may be the best of all the backs, the toughest runner. He is not brought down by one man. E.B. Halsey returning to New Jersey, his home. He's going to be all fired up. And Rashard Mendenhall is a guy that can take it the distance.
Illinois ran for 345 yards against Eastern Illinois in their opener last week. And there are the head coaches. Greg Schiano has done a terrific job reviving this program now in his 6th season, and Ron Zook in his 2nd year trying to rebuild this Illinois team. And boy, it's a young team. Had 14 freshmen playing last week. They were the youngest team in the country last year, and just trying to get things back on track. So we are ready to go at Rutgers Stadium. Illinois won the toss but deferred, so Rutgers will receive. And we have a couple of returners to keep an eye on today. Willie Foster, number 84, the 2005 Big East Special Teams Player of the Year, is back deep for the Knights, along with Tyquan Underwood, number 7. But keep your eye on 84. Will they kick away from him? No, they kick it to him, but he's deep enough in the end zone to take a knee. And Rutgers will start from its 20. Let's check in now with the third member of our team, Jimmy Dykes.
Thank you, Pam. Making his 5th start overall, but just his first start in front of a home crowd. His local product, the quarterback for Rutgers, Mike Teal. This is a kid that started 3 games last year. In those 3 games, though, threw 10 interceptions and only 2 touchdowns. Talking to Greg Schiano yesterday, he says the problem that he's had in the past is making too many impulse throws, just trying to make something out of nothing. Pretty good start last week. No interceptions, no TDs. The goal this week is the same for Mike Teal. Make sure Rutgers has the football for the next play. Pam?
Right, Coach Schiano said he had a hard time letting a play die, so competitive that he tried to force things, but as Jimmy told you, that has been a priority to cut down on that. And here is our first look at Ray Rice. A flag comes down as Rice picks up 11 yards, but we will check the flag.
I think they're going to get Dennis Campbell for a low block or hold.
It's a Big Ten officiating crew
Holding
on the field.
Number 5 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And that is exactly what they did. They got Dennis Campbell with the hold, so that negates the first down. The impact players, we talked about Brian Leonard and Ray Rice in the open. Clark Harris is a terrifically talented tight end.
Hey, Pam, I don't know of a team that's got 3 impact players like these 3. Brian Leonard can do it all. Ray Rice is a good back. You saw him on the first play. Clark Harris is a big-time tight end.
In fact, the NCAA's active leader among tight ends in both catches and receiving yards. yards. So the penalty makes it 1st and 15 now. Teal's first pass, and he goes towards Harris, but that falls incomplete. Take a look now at the rest of the Rutgers offensive lineup as Harris trots on the field. The offensive line, they've got some talent, especially Darnell Stapleton, the center, who the coaches believe is NFL caliber.
And 2 new guards. 2 tackles are very good players, 2 young guards. Cameron
Stevenson and Mike Fladell are the new guards for this Rutgers offensive line. Rutgers going to that bowl game last year. For the first time since 1978 went to a bowl game. Right up the gut, they go back to Ray Rice. He is stopped by Chris Norwell, junior from Cincinnati. The Illinois defense, let's just say they had a rough year last year. They gave up a staggering school record 435 points, but Jay Lehman, a great leader both on the field and in the classroom.
Lehman is a good linebacker. Alan Ball has started at corner since being a freshman.
Ball now a senior, was a high school sprinter, so he brings some speed back there. But this is a 3rd and 12, so it's a good situation now for Illinois to try to get out of this first possession for Rutgers. And again, Teal is looking for Harris. He's unable to bring it in, but he threw it about 7 yards short of what would have been a first down. Ball on the coverage.
Pam, one of the keys for Illinois is get Rutgers in 3rd and long yardage. Make Mike Teal beat you. Don't let them get Brian Leonard and Ray Rice off to a good start.
And that's exactly what they did, helped out by the Campbell penalty as E.B. Halsey, the senior from nearby Elizabeth, New Jersey, waits on the 40, waiting Joe Ratigan's first punt. No pressure at all on Ratigan. Great hand time, and Halsey has to retreat, and he's not going near it. A terrific punt for Ratigan. His career long is 63 yards, and that one went 78. It's on the 4-yard line. So 78 yards for Ratigan. Let's go back down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, 2 different stories for quarterbacks today. For Illinois, Tim Brasic, a real lesson in perseverance, Pam. This is a kid in 2002 was redshirted, didn't play. 2003 threw 1 ball. 2004 was on the team but didn't play. Almost transferred. Has now flourished in Ron Zook's system. Is not bothered by the pressure of the All-American Juice Williams waiting in the wings. He's a kind of kid that sticking with it has paid off. Lost in the system for 3 years. Timmy Brasic right now is in a very confident groove for this Illini attack.
And he actually set a record last year, a quarterback record for 420 yards rushing. A lot of that was the tuck and run variety, and they don't want that this year.
No, patience. They want him to go back and throw the football.
So Rutgers pinned back on its 4-yard line after the 78-yard punt by Ratigan. And E.B. Halsey, who had 60 ticket requests for his family, he's from Elizabeth, New Jersey, which is just north of Rutgers, gets the first carry. Here is the Illinois offensive lineup. Tim Brasic is the quarterback. And Kyle Hudson, what a great all-around athlete he is, even though he's only 5'11", 165, center fielder on the Illinois baseball team, and also was a 6'10" high jumper in high school. He is slight but talented. 2nd and 8 now for the Illini. And go right back to Halsey, who runs right up the middle and doesn't get much. Illinois returning 20 starters, most in the Big Ten, but still trying to overcome what was a miserable season last year. They have not won on the road since November of 2002.
No, and that's big for your confidence, because when things go wrong, you start to think, here it goes again.
And here goes a 3rd and 6 from the 8. Brasic changing things up at the line. And Pierre Thomas gets his first carry and is stopped well short of the first down. William Beckford converted linebacker making the tackle. And it's a 3 and out.
Here's a big decision for Ron Zook. He's going to go with the freshman punter right now.
Kyle Yelton, a true freshman. He had 2 punts last week against Eastern Illinois. Both of them went for only 28 yards. And it's blocked. Rutgers gets an easy and quick 6. Manny Collins with the block. Touchdown, Rutgers. Derrick Roberson getting on top of that blocked punt, and they got right on the true freshman.
And when you have a true freshman punter, early in the year, you're going to go after him. We saw a freshman punter last year. Now the protection broke down for Kyle Yelton. He never had a shot. Manny Collins comes right in, blocks the punt. Greg Schiano, punt teams have done a good job blocking kicks.
Schiano, priding himself with the special teams and defensive touchdowns, gets one early as the extra point is put through by Jeremy Ito. They have a true freshman punter. They put a lot of pressure on him, and just like that, it's 7-0 Scarlet Knights.
You're going to like it.
Welcome back. Rutgers on top 7-0 because of a special teams touchdown. As they came up with a block punt. Nothing new under Greg Schiano. Now 23 touchdowns they have scored either on defense or special teams since he took over as head coach in 2001. Block punt by Manny Collins, scooped up in the end zone by Derrick Roberson on the true freshman punter who Illinois really didn't want to use, and we'll talk about that in a second. As E.B. Halsey gets it at its goal line and fumbles it momentarily. And good field position again if you're a Rutgers fan, as Illinois is pinned back on the 14. Manny Collins, who had the block punt, came up with the special teams tackle. Let's head down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, Pam, I was within earshot of Illinois when they came off from the sidelines after the punt block. Ron Zook put it on his own shoulders. He said, guys, not your fault. I should have called timeout. I knew he didn't have the right blocking scheme into effect. And, Coach, I got to tell you, it almost felt like this is a guy that knows the confidence level of his kids on the road is very fragile. He took that one himself to blame.
Yeah, very fragile, and to get off to that kind of start is bad.
And so now Illinois gets the ball for the second time as Rutgers lineman jumped off sides. And again, they didn't have a lot of confidence anyway in Kyle Yelton, the true freshman, and had talked about
contact on the defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
So 5 yards against Rutgers, as they had talked about using DeJuan Warren as a punter, but it's all about field position. Get to that in a second. Here are the impact players now for Rutgers. Ramel Meekins is the defensive tackle, very lightly recruited, and has done a great job here at Rutgers. So now 1st and 5 after the offsides. Bracek going to try to pass it, but he is taken down in the arms of Quintero Frierson. Frierson, the senior from Coral Gables, Florida, with the sack.
Tim Bracek gets sacked in the backfield, never has a chance to make a play.
So Frierson, as head coach Greg Schiano told us yesterday that Quintero had to play well today. And boy, that's a terrific start for him, his first sack of the season. And it's now 2nd and 12. So you go from 1st and 5 to 2nd and 12 because of the sack. Bracek under pressure again, this time able to dump it off and gets a first down completion to DeJuan Warren, who was a high school quarterback. Best hands on the team, the most consistent receiver. He gets 17 in the first down.
Pam, I talked to Ron Zook before the game. He said he has a problem with the young guy, Kyle Yelton, on the drop of the ball. So if it's going to put DeJuan Warren in, who hasn't punted since high school punter and quarterback, but he felt like if the ball was backed up, and that's what Ratigan did to him, they punted him down the end zone.
And boy, did they pay for it. Ratigan with the school record 78-yard punt, pinning Illinois down as Pierre Thomas goes down in his tracks. The Rutgers defense. We've already seen William Beckford make a play. He's a guy who was converted from a linebacker down to defensive end. Brendan Renkart, very talented linebacker, was a safety, so they're getting speed by moving down guys into the end and linebacker positions.
Fast defense, but North Carolina ran the ball at this defense last week.
They averaged 5.3 yards per carry, did North Carolina last week, but still lost the football game as Pierre Thomas is able to dance his way over the 30. Derrick Roberson with the first hit, and then Manny Collins got a lick in on him too. That's 3 yards for Pierre, the senior from Linwood, Illinois.
Pierre Thomas usually is not brought down on the first hit. Good job blocking. Good tackle by Roberson.
Very difficult to get Thomas down on the first hit, but good tackling by Rutgers. 3rd and 7. Illinois 0 for 1 on third down so far today. They were 8 for 11 against Eastern Illinois last week. Eastern, a 1AA school. Brasic with time, and it's intercepted. He threw it right into the arms of Devin McCourty, and another touchdown for Rutgers. A 39-yard return. So a special teams touchdown and now a defensive touchdown.
And they're playing like a team that hasn't won on the road since 2002. You can't give gifts like they've been given here to Rutgers, who's a good football team. McCourty stepped right in front, picked it off, and scored.
That is the first career interception for Devin McCourty. He has a twin brother, Jason, who is not playing today because of an ankle sprain. McCourty, the redshirt freshman. And Rutgers is up 14-0, and their offense hasn't done anything yet. Special teams and defense, a trademark of Greg Schiano here at Rutgers. McCourty takes it in. His first career interception is a big one for a touchdown.
ESPN2's College Football is presented by Pennzoil. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And in part by Hyundai. Award-winning quality backed by America's best warranty. Hyundai, it's time to rethink everything.
The Raritan River here at the campus of Rutgers University, and we talked about Ray Rice and Brian Leonard, the great running backs for Rutgers. It's 14-0. Those guys haven't had to do anything because of the special teams and defensive touchdowns. Now 2 in this game, and the 24th since Greg Schiano came here in 01.
And Pam, Illinois needs something good to happen on this series.
And so far, so bad for the Illini as Halsey again will take a knee. Let's get our first update of the day from Brian Kenny. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Pam. We're here in ESPN Digital Center in screening all throughout the day, all throughout the night. We'll take you up to Fresno State and Oregon at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get underway right now. Michigan goes to Notre Dame next week, taking on Central Michigan at Ann Arbor right now. Michigan converted a 4th and 7. Then Mike Hart, same drive, 4-yard touchdown run, 7-0 early. Pam?
Thank you, Brian, as we'll be checking in with him throughout the afternoon. Illinois here in a deep hole already, down 14-0 to Rutgers. Illinois getting its best starting field position of the day right now, and that's at the 20, because remember, Ratigan really pinned him back at the 4 with the terrific school record 78-yard punt. Safety blitz is on, and a flag comes down. The ball is loose as Brasic loses the ball. Brendan Renkart is on top of it right now as the officials converge to discuss whether or not it was a fumble or not.
Tim Brasic is nervous right now, playing as a nervous quarterback, trying to make things happen.
Brasic right now has more interceptions than touchdowns in his career, 11 touchdowns and now 12 picks. And another penalty against the Illini.
Ratigan's punt change this game around early, because all of a sudden Illinois was backed up, stopped Rutgers offense, then was backed up, and then the mistake by the punting team.
Rutgers scoring its first touchdown on a blocked punt, then Devin McCourty on a 38-yard interception return makes it 14-0 in favor of the Scarlet Knights. Now, the Scarlet Knights had a big lead last year in Champaign and blew it, as we get the call.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Gotta give Tim Bracing something easy right now to settle him down. Either let him run an option play or a long pass, something to take some butterflies away from him.
But boy, this 1st and 20 isn't helping. A couple of tight ends in now for the Illini. They don't go to their tight ends very often, but they just have one receiver split out to the right. Hand off to Halsey, and he's going to lose some more. Kevin Malisk, the sophomore from Manchester, New Jersey. No gain, actually. Maybe a yard of loss. They're going backwards. We got more football coming your way tonight. And what a game it is. The rematch we've been waiting for all year. Number 1 versus number 2, Texas and Ohio State. Jim Tressel going up against Mac Brown in Austin. Check it out tonight. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, the 2 top teams in the country. Should be a great one. 2nd and 20 now for the Illini. Brasic, protection breaking down. Boy, he had a lot of time, but everybody was covered. He's looking for DeJuan Warren, it seems, almost exclusively, as he was knocked down by Joe Giacobbe, senior from Rahway, New Jersey. This Rutgers club, as the years go by, getting more and more New Jersey guys to stay home.
We talked about the confidence of this football team on the road. No confidence, and they're playing like that right now.
Illinois has not won on the road since November 23rd, 2002. That was in Evanston against Northwestern. And here's a 3rd and 20. Nothing but trouble. 4 wideouts in. Flares it out to Halsey. His safety pass, as he is able to at least pick up a few yards. Ramel Meekins with his first tackle of the day, and here comes another punt.
The trouble is you're backed up again to punt the football. They're going to bring in DeJuan Warren to punt this football.
Because the other punter, Kyle Yelton, the true freshman, had his first punt of the day blocked, and it was a touchdown.
I don't think it was his fault. The protection broke down.
All right, so let's take a look at Warren, his first collegiate punt. And that's it, the rugby style. They just want to get a little bit of air under it and hope for the bounce, and it works. As Willie Foster, who's a very good returner, can't field it cleanly, and now he shows you he's a good returner by taking it up around the 38-yard line. On the return. So Warren able to get away his first punt for 50 yards. When we come back, the dynamic backfield of Brian Leonard and Ray Rice take the field. That was Brett Busberger. Will be calling the game. We'll all be settling down to watch that one tonight on ABC. Right now, Rutgers, they've only had the football for 1 minute and 54 seconds in this game, but they're up 14-0 because of a special teams and defensive touchdown. Ray Rice, nice hole up the middle, and he picks up about 9. Rice picked up 201 yards in last week's win over North Carolina. As we join you from Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, Illinois taking on Rutgers for the 2nd time in their histories. And Illinois with Ron Zook, boy, fighting that uphill battle, coach, as they haven't won on the road in almost 4 years. And they're down early in this one. Brian Leonard now the only back. Leonard being touted for Heisman Trophy by the Rutgers media people here as a Illini jumped off sides. It was Josh Norris, senior from Springfield, Illinois, the former walk-on.
In last year's game, Ron Zook came in at halftime.
Offside. Number 65 defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Told his team they were down 20-7. He said, we got Rutgers right where we want them. And he's going to have to give that same speech after the first quarter.
And it got worse for them because Illinois actually went up. They got another touchdown and were up 27-7 in Champaign. And Rutgers was, and Illinois was able to come back and win that game in overtime. And they're going to need a huge comeback on the road today. Up top, Teal finds his man in step. That's Clark Harris, the very talented tight end. That's 27 yards.
And Clark Harris is a big-time tight end. When you have Leonard, you have Rice, and all of a sudden you have a tight end that can get down the field. And Mike Teal drills him with this football. He has 9 career touchdown passes. Clark Harris, a good target at 6'6", 260.
He's now caught a pass in 32 straight games, 4th best in Big East history. John Mackey, candidate for best tight end in the country. Rice, that is just a voluminous hole, and he goes right through it for a first down. Lehman on the late tackle. Let's go back to Brian Kenny.
Pam, Taco Bell studio update. Could Louisville get that offense going without Michael Bush, who broke his leg against Kentucky last week? Louisville against Temple. Colby Smith 3 yards in. 7-0 Louisville against Temple. It's early. Pam?
All right, Temple, not a terrific opponent, but what a horrendous loss for Louisville. The very talented Michael Bush. Here's a guy, coach, who comes back for his senior season, then breaks his leg.
Big loss. He was going, moving. He had about 180 yards rushing when he got hurt.
Louisville trudging on as Leonard, again, there's the versatility for the fullback coming out of the backfield, tackled down at the 3 by Alan Law. So Illinois defense, struggling last year, still very young. Antonio Steele, Justin Sanders, Avante Davis. We've got 2 JUCO guys there, and Davis a true freshman, so 3 first-year players.
A lot of young players. Avante Davis, a freshman playing corner in the second ball game of his career.
And Rice up the middle is stopped short on second down. David Lindquist with the stop. Avante Davis is number 1 for Illinois. Coming out of Washington, D.C., the brother of Vernon Davis, who was a great tight end at Maryland and taken in the first round.
6th pick of the draft last year. Avante Davis said, someday I'm going to go higher than my brother.
Wants to be at least the 5th pick. 3rd and goal now for Rutgers on the 2. This would be huge, obviously, for Illinois to come up with a stop. Leonard in front of Ray in the backfield, and that one is caught. Clark Harris, the talented tight end, showing you right there with a great catch, and Rutgers has its 3rd touchdown of the day.
So many weapons by Rutgers on offense. You got Rice, you got Brian Leonard in the flat, you got Clark Harris, the big-time tight end. Mike Teal is playing well at quarterback, so they have an offense tough to stop.
First touchdown pass of the year. We're not even out of the first quarter yet as Ito misses the extra point. Rutgers up 20-0, but Clark Harris, one of the best tight ends going.
Everybody's concerned about Brian Leonard in the flat. All of a sudden, Illinois covers him, but you see the Clark Harris catch. At 6'6", he stretches out and makes that play. 10 TD touchdown passes.
And look at Harris, tied for first in receiving touchdowns among active tight ends. He's first in everything else. And you mentioned how big he is, 6'6", 260. He has to be an NFL prospect.
Oh, he really is. I think when you look at Leonard and Clark Harris, the NFL scouts will be in here by droves. Illinois really got to settle down. Early in this football game, they can get back in. They need a big play. They need some confidence. It's like a snowball going down a hill. When you lose on the road for so long, everybody talks about it. You have to find a way to win. And you have to find a way to get organized and overcome some bad things in the ball game.
and they have had nothing but bad things happen to them. We're not out of the first quarter yet, and Rutgers has scored on a special teams, defense, and now offensive touchdown. It's about every way you can do it. Clark Harris with that catch. Teal was 3 for 3 on that drive. As Thomas takes it out of the end zone, here Thomas trying to make something happen. And he is stopped short at around the 16-yard line. You have an opportunity to vote for today's MVP. It's up to you. Vote for your favorite from your cell phone. We'll let you know when the polls open during today's fourth quarter. Each vote will cost you 99 cents, plus standard messaging rates might apply. So, boy, there's a lot of candidates already for Rutgers in this game.
Greg Schiano. I'd vote for him right now. His team has played very well here in the first quarter.
Our first look at Rashard Mendenhall, number 5, who was in the backfield for Illinois, a very talented sophomore out of Skokie, and he gets it. And he showed you some of that talent. The coaching staff for Illinois says he has terrific potential, and he gets a first down.
Here's why Mendenhall is in the ball game. Right now, they're looking for a spark on offense. Rashard Mendenhall can take it the distance. He's fast.
He's the #1 recruit out of Illinois, according to Scout.com. And Frierson in on Mendenhall that time as he was taken down quickly.
Hey, Pam, I'm impressed with Rutgers' defense. Very quick, undersized, but very quick here on the option. You see as the pitch goes to Mendenhall, he's tackled right away by Frierson.
Now rolling out, and that pass is complete. Jeff Cumberland, the tight end. There were 3 Scarlet Knights around the ball, but Brasic forced it in there, and he got the first down completion.
Cumberland, a freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, 6'5", 240. He's one of the 3 fastest guys on this football team.
He's a true freshman, and that is his first collegiate catch. And a first down for the Illini now at the 42. Brasic goes down, trying again for Cumberland. But boy, Rutgers is getting a lot of pressure up the gut. Ron Geralt that time coming up from his strong safety spot to get in Brasic's face.
And you'll see Tim Brasic lift his leg, and all of a sudden he's trying to double count Rutgers defense to try to see what's happening and try to see what the blitz, where the blitz is coming from. Watch him when he sets this thing up. He has dummy count first.
On 2nd and 10, more flags.
Offensive guard O'Donnell, 64 flinched.
Now the 3rd penalty against the Illini. And Brasic is a guy who only threw 1 pass before last season, and then became the starter once Ron Zook took over for Ron Turner. Says he was meant to play for Ron Zook in this offense. So in that 1 interception today that was returned for a touchdown by Devin McCourty that made it 14-0. And now it's 2nd and 15. Brasic drops the snap, but recovers and throws the ball down the sidelines towards Jacob Willis. Looked like he had some room to run on that play, but decided to pull the trigger.
Tim, you look at Tim Brasic. He redshirted, and then he threw 1 pass the next year, and next year it says in the brochure he was on the team. And sometimes a guy will wait his turn. Like we had Luke Getze last week. He transferred from Pittsburgh. Brasic hung in there, and now he's the starter for Illinois.
And boy, facing another 3rd and long. 3rd and 15. Illinois 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. They've had several long 3rd downs. Brasic rolls to his left into a mess of trouble and just throws up an air ball that Derrick Roberson gets. Roberson, who scored the touchdown on the block punt, now has an interception.
I would say right now that Ron Zook is thinking about Juice Williams, the backup quarterback, and it may be a time to insert him to see what he can do in this football game. Tim Brasic is uneasy. nervous back there at the quarterback position, making some mistakes. Just hung this football up there for the pickoff.
Jamal Westerman getting up in his face, and also Ramel Meekins, and that's a terrible throw. That's something that someone who's a senior should not attempt, obviously, and he's talking to the guys upstairs about it. Rutgers again in good territory at the 45-yard line. Rice going to throw one to Leonard, but he was well covered down the field by Justin Harrison.
Pam, go back, and Tim Bracey, as you see Juice Williams, I'm sure we're going to see him quickly. But Tim Bracey is a competitor. He's trying to make something happen in a first quarter where everything is going wrong.
He has made some bad decisions, and boy, you couldn't write a worse script if you're Ron Zook coming in on the road against Rutgers. Should be the last play of the first quarter. Leonard in the backfield gets the handoff and is taken down after a minimal gain, if any. It was a terrific first quarter for Rutgers. They scored on all three units. Block punt. Derrick Roberson scores the first one. Then there's an interception return by Devin McCourty. And then finally, Clark Harris, the great tight end, pulls it in 20-0 Scarlet Knights. Welcome back to Rutgers for the second quarter. This college football game presented by Pennzoil, and it has been all Scarlet Knights in the first quarter as they have scored on a special teams play, an interception return, and a Clark Harris touchdown. And there's Juice Williams. Pam Ward, Mike Gottfried, and Jimmy Dykes joining you in what has been all Rutgers so far. Juice Williams, a very heralded true freshman quarterback. We expect to see him when Illinois gets the ball back. But right now, Teal, with plenty of time, lifts one over. The ball is bobbled and then ultimately dropped by Dennis Campbell on the first play of the second quarter.
Three-way flood where you take Harris deep, you take a second receiver about 15 yards, and then you got Leonard in the flat, and your quarterback just reads the safety.
Campbell has been the guy they've gone to in third down situations. At least did that last week against Carolina. Did it there, but it didn't work. Joe Ratigan's first punt was a career high and a school record 78 yards, but now he's trying to pooch it into the corner, and it just dribbles into the end zone. So the Illini will take over at the 20.
A good time to put your young quarterback in. He's a freshman. You expect mistakes out of the freshman, but Juice Williams, right now you're down 20-0. So you're looking for something good to happen.
And it is indeed number 7, Juice Williams. Again, the true freshman from Chicago, went to Dick Butkus' high school, and he is the future of Illinois football. We expected to see him anyway today.
Right.
He did play some last week, but these are dire circumstances, and they need a spark. Mendenhall in the backfield. Mendenhall gets it around left side as the flag comes down. Brandon Renkart from right here in Piscataway in on the tackle.
Holding. Number 69 on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Second holding call against Illinois today. Let's go back to Brian Kenny.
Pam, you expected more updates here, and you're going to get one more, at least right now, just one. Louisville and Temple. Brian Brome this time in the air. Mario Urrutia here sheds a tackle. He goes in for another touchdown. It's 14-0, and getting ready for the second quarter.
Thank you, Brian. Louisville was number 1 in Mike Gottfried's top 10 last week. We'll have that shaken up top 10 for you later in the day. See if Notre Dame cracked it. Tough Mike had him at 11 last week. First and 20. Not what you want, obviously, for Juice Williams. A holding play. You go to first and 20 as Mendenhall gets some tough yards up the middle. Stopped about a yard short of the original line of scrimmage.
Leon on the tackle.
Juice Williams, he was a big kid, 13 pounds, 8 ounces, and he's got a big head as well, maybe not in the way you think. Let's go down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, you're exactly right. They actually had to order him an extra special large helmet. I looked at it prior to him taking the field. It's a size 7G. I don't know if the G stands for great or grand or whatever, but he's got a big head, but he's not big-headed. A very humble young guy that a lot of folks compare to D. Brown, the Illinois basketball player that
Juice's pass is incomplete to Kyle Hudson, the versatile wide receivers. Jimmy kind of faded out right there. We're talking about D. Brown and the impact D had on the basketball program in Illinois. And they really think that Juice is like the big man on campus already.
He's going to be a great quarterback for the Illini, but it's going to take time. Freshmen make mistakes. You play 2 days, and then all of a sudden school starts. The teachers are giving you homework. The girls are there, and it slows your progress down.
And now Juice is facing a 3rd and 11. Plenty of time to throw. He's got a great arm. Threw it in towards Jody Ellis, but over the wrong shoulder, and a holding penalty on 1st down. So Illinois has to punt yet again.
And the punt has been an adventure. The Illini, and Warren's back to punt now.
Got a 50-yard punt, a lot of that on a roll on his first punt. If you're just joining us, Kyle Yelton, the true freshman, had his punt blocked. We haven't seen him since.
I'd come after him, Ken.
And another one, that one's a squibber that goes out around the 47-yard line. So Rutgers continues to have great field position.
You might as well go after him because he's not going to get any height on the punt, so you can't return it. Go after him.
Good idea. Maybe we'll see that next time. Only a 28-yard punt. Ray Rice and company coming back out with a huge lead. And we'll watch Brent Musburger and company tonight on ABC. But right now here in New Jersey, Rutgers, which has had terrific field position, starts at its 47. Their average starting spot today, their own 42. Illinois, its own 15. And that has played a huge factor in this game. As Ray Rice gets another carry. Takes it about 3 yards. We had some great aerial views today, and they are being brought to you by the Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. New Jersey's oldest and largest health insurer is committed to making healthcare work for its 3.2 million members. And there's the blimp. We got a blimp today, Mike.
Big time.
Kind of hazy skies, but nice and dry, warm, about 80 degrees in Piscataway, as Rutgers faces a 2nd and 7. So Leonard dancing around the backfield as Rice gets the pitch and gets outside. Ray Rice turning on the Jets and taking it down inside the 30 as a late flag comes in after the play. 17-yard run for Rice.
A lot of movement by Rutgers on offense.
5-yard face. Number 32 on the defense. 5 yards will be added to the end of the run. 1st down.
Pam, why they want to move the offensive guys around is to confuse the defense to get the force players out of control.
Again, this is a very young Illinois defense. That 5-yard face mask penalty on Justin Harrison. So it's 1st and 10 now from the 22. Rutgers knocking on the door once again. Teal, all day to throw. Leonard gets popped as he catches it by Allen Ball, but Brian hangs on to it. His 2nd catch of the day. Let's head back to the other Brian Kenny.
Pam, you talked about weather at your game when you got on the air. Well, bad weather in Michigan, and it's the first ever weather delay in Michigan Stadium history. Michigan and Central Michigan had some dark clouds, thunder, some lightning. Players are off the field. It's a little brighter now, but they'll be gone for another 15 minutes at least.
Thank you, Brian. Boy, that's amazing. First time they've ever delayed a game in the great history of Michigan Stadium. We got some thunder and lightning rolling in. Beautiful day here in New Jersey. On 2nd and 1, he's not going to get it. Rice with the ball. Let's go down to the field again to Jimmy Dykes.
Pam, I'm standing in the end zone that Rutgers is attacking right now. Interesting to note, Ray Rice listed at 5'9", probably about 5'7". Now he's running behind an offensive line, Coach, and Pam, that averages 6'5". I can tell you from the position I'm standing, like a defensive back for Illinois, you can't tackle what you can't see. That's what he has going for him right now.
And that is one of the things that Ray has talked about. Remember the great, of course, Barry Sanders, a little guy, and he is much smaller than those offensive linemen. And you're right, Jimmy, there's no way he's 5'9", maybe with big cleats on. But Rice runs like he's a lot bigger as he picks up the first down inside the 10. Rice from New Rochelle, New York.
Pam, you're talking about thunder and lightning in Michigan. We're having thunder and lightning here with Brian Leonard and Ray Rice.
Dennis Campbell with one of the nice blocks. Rice actually was on his way to Syracuse, but then Paul Pasqualoni got fired. He changed his mind and came here to Rutgers, and boy, what a difference he has made for Rutgers, and he certainly could have helped out a Syracuse squad that's been struggling big time. Rice trying to get to the outside, keeps his legs churning, and he is stopped just a couple of inches short of the goal line by Jay Lehman.
He is a good back with great vision. He can find the little sliver of a hole and get in that hole fast. See him break outside, now he breaks inside, almost gets the score.
2 tight ends now, and Rice has 63 yards on 10 carries. Make it 3 tight ends for Rutgers. Ray Rice, Hader. And Rutgers scores again, this time on the ground. Set a true freshman record last year with over 1,100 yards, off to another great start to this season. And Rutgers, well, the route is on. It's 26-0.
Can't give them that great field position.
Ito missed his last extra point attempt for the Scarlet Knights, about the only thing they haven't done right today. And he knocks this one home. So Juice Williams, you're a true freshman, you're on the road, and you're down 27-0. Welcome to college football.
Sam.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by the all-new Mazda CX-7, the SUV you never saw coming, and Corona Extra, miles away from ordinary.
Shots from the Hale Center, the nice football facility here at Rutgers, and that represents all of the Scarlet Knights in the NFL. And you're seeing some guys today that I think we're going to see in the National Football League. Brian Leonard, Clark Harris, all those guys playing well for Rutgers, who now lead 27-0 over Illinois, and we still have a huge chunk of the second quarter left to go. But Juice Williams will be on the field, the exciting true freshman quarterback for the Illini, as he will start again from the 20. Illinois and Rutgers playing for only the second time in their histories. Illinois won in overtime last year in Champaign, coming back from a 20-point third quarter deficit. But they are really up against it here, down 27-0 on the road. Rutgers has scored 2 defensive touchdowns, a special teams touchdown, and an interception return touchdown. So 1 defensive, 1 special teams. They've scored through the air, they've scored on the ground.
And their kicking game has been solid.
Field position has been huge. The Illini starting at the 20. Their average position today has been the 15, so this is good. This is Williams. This is what he can do for you. He can run. And where's number 7 like Michael Vick? He's been compared to him as he picks up the first down, getting 12 yards.
Juice Williams missed a meeting because he forgot to take a teacher the excuse that he was going to go to the football game at Illinois on a Friday. So he missed the class, and Ron said all the freshmen, they're confused a little bit because they don't follow their itinerary, and some of them look at it and say, what's an itinerary?
A lot of things to learn. That's another first down run, this time by Pierre Thomas. So 2 straight first downs for the Illini. Let's head back to Brian Kenny.
Penn Rutgers beat North Carolina last week. North Carolina taking on Virginia Tech here. Joe Daly, picked off. Xavier Adibi gets it for Virginia Tech. He's going to bring it to the 2 from there. Brandon Orr would punch it in, so make it 7-3 Virginia Tech, and they just picked them off in the end zone again, Pam.
Oh, my. Was Virginia Tech beamer ball, a sort of mini beamer ball here with Greg Schiano and his emphasis. And as Williams drops the snap, it continues to go wrong for the Illini. Rutgers picks it up. That's Brandon Renkart from Piscataway High School picking up the fumble.
Looked like Juice Williams pulled out too fast. Didn't get the football. Now the football gets bounced around. Rutgers recovers. This would be a good chance to put a dagger in the heart of Illinois. Go for the bomb right here. Turnover, good field position, get the ball in the receiver's hands.
And they do get it again, and on their side of the field at the 46-yard line, Mike Teal back in to run the Rutgers offense after another Illinois turnover. Leonard in the backfield gets it. And is able to escape. He still loses a yard or 2. Brian Leonard has been touted for the Heisman Trophy here. Actually had some billboards up on the New Jersey Turnpike for him. Very unselfish player. We talked to him yesterday. Ray Rice got 201 yards. He did a lot of blocking for Ray last week at Carolina, and that was fine by Brian.
Yeah, Pam, he said he was almost embarrassed by being on the Times Square. He said, can't we put my team on there?
Yep, they're on
He's
Times
a team
Square.
guy.
Yeah, good guy to have on your team. He was in a big screen at Times Square, and if he had his druthers, he wouldn't be. And there he is blocking for Rice as Ray gets positive yardage. And here is what the Times Square video monitor looks like. There's a lot of Brian Leonard up there. And that's the hurdle in the Illinois game last year. It was an 83-yard touchdown run for Leonard. Of course, they're not going to get any Heisman votes. I mean, shoot, Ray Rice, the guy is, getting more yards for him. Terrific tandem in the backfield, but all these guys talk about is winning. They're so proud they finally got to a bowl game last year, first time since 1978, and they obviously want to go back again. Teal to Leonard on the screen, gets good blocking, and the first down. Alan Ball makes the tackle, but that's Leonard's 3rd catch of the day.
The screen pass to Leonard. He blocks and then heads out in the flat and picks up the first down. But he has got excellent hands.
Well, he sure does. Came in with 13 catching touchdowns in his career, well over 175 catches in his career for Rice. 4 receivers now in on first down for Rutgers. Teal completes it again, this time to Tyquan Underwood for another first down. For more on Brian Leonard, let's go down to Jimmy Dykes.
Pam, we're talking about Brian Leonard being on the Panasonic big screen in the middle of Times Square. Pretty sure that's pretty expensive venture to join out to. That the Rutgers athletic department is not out any money at all. It's an anonymous donor, an obvious fan of Brian Leonard, that has donated that gift. Brian Leonard, though, unfazed by it. He has no plans to even make the 50-minute trip over to Times Square to see himself. And this is a kid that's very humble, and he loves to block for Ray Rice, which is very unusual for a guy with all that height.
Well, he's been doing a good job of it. Told us that he wants that to be a point of emphasis as Leonard gets it and shifts it over to the left side of the ball so he doesn't get hit head on. Alan Ball with his 5th tackle of the day. And Brian Leonard, number 23, coming in here. He talks about in his first season when they have won 1 ball game and doesn't want the freshmen to get complacent about it, but he's going to leave as obviously one of the all-time greats.
Penn State, Notre Dame, Syracuse all recruited him, but he chose Rutgers because his brother was here, and Rutgers did well by his brother. His brother was hurt, but Rutgers kept the scholarship, so he felt a loyalty to Rutgers.
His brother Nate was a linebacker here as Rice goes behind Leonard and ducks his shoulder. and picks up a couple. We'll pick up another update from Brian Kenny.
Pam, go to the SEC. We've got a good look at Auburn last week, beating Washington State 40-14. Here, Brandon Cox to Gabe McKenzie. He leaps in and gets into the end zone. Auburn up 7-zip. Get ready for the second, Pam.
Thank you, Brian. Auburn on top of Mississippi State as they head to the second quarter in that game. Here we are still in the second quarter, and Rutgers facing a 3rd and 5 from the 16. Leonard in the backfield, stays in to block. Teal with another completion. Tyquan Underwood just dragged down by Jay Lehman. Well-executed play, and they're knocking on the door again.
If there's a question on this Rutgers offense, it was Mike Teal. It's easy to play when you're ahead 27-0, but Mike Teal has been impressive here in the first half.
Remember, this is Mike Teal's first start at home. Ryan Hart was a starter last year. Teal making his first ever start at Rutgers Stadium. First and goal, Rice leaps. The ball might be loose. It is. So Rice, leaping with the ball in front of him, gives it up.
You look for one big play to get you going, and that might be the play to get the Illini going.
David Lindquist coming up with the loose ball as Rice dives and pays for it. Illinois finally gets a break.
Snap infraction, number 60 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
That's about an inch. They have to move it back. As Ryan McDonald, the center, got up. And look at the takeaways for the Illinois defense. Only 8 all of last year. That was the worst in the NCAA. They get this fumble recovery, which is good, but you don't want it on the 6-inch line. First and 10, and Juice Williams just trying to get a little bit of wiggle room and doesn't get it. By the way, that last play was reviewed upstairs. We have a Big East video crew as they took a look at it. The replay official, Nick Traynor, and obviously not overturned because Rice did not break the play.
Yeah, Jay Lehman with a good hit from the linebacker spot. But you tell your backs, if you're going to stretch that ball out, you've got to hold on.
Rice,
dangerous.
Yep, giving it up. But now 2nd and 10 for Williams. Pierre Thomas in the backfield behind the fullback Russ Weil. Thomas, who is the hardest running back to tackle for Illinois, gets a couple of tough yards. Courtney Green with his second stop of the day, and their field position has been just abysmal for the Illini, and here they are facing another 3rd down.
Here's the worst part. It gets worse, though, because if you don't get the first down here, you're going to punt back inside your 5, and you're struggling punting the football. And Rutgers is going to come after it.
Illinois has used 2 punters today as the Rutgers Scarlet Knights take a timeout. And the first punt by true freshman Kyle Yelton was blocked, and they picked it up for a touchdown. Greg Schiano talking to his guys. We'll be back.
For you.
So Illinois is facing a 3rd and 8 from its own 3, and Juice Williams, a true freshman, you think he's got to throw the football?
Got to throw the ball. You have to make something happen. You're down 27-0. You can't punt the football right now. You're struggling on the road. You've lost on the road since 2002. Make something happen right here.
Juice so far 0 for 2 in the air. He does have 2 rushes for 12 yards. They have had trouble with their punting game today, and this is a key 3rd and 8. Williams checking off at the line. And they run the ball. That's Pierre Thomas. He doesn't even come close to getting the first down. So keep an eye to see who comes out to punt. It looks like it will be DeJuan Warren.
Charge timeout. Rutgers timer. Please reset the clock.
Calling timeout because they want to score again, I would assume.
They want to rush this punt. That's first thing. They want to go after it. They want time left on the clock for Mike Teal to see if he can move him down the field. They're going to get great field position right here.
They've been doing that all day. Their average start, the 44-yard line. Illinois' average start now whittled down to the 14, including this last possession where they started inside the 1 after the fumble recovery. ESPN and ESPN2 have two great college football matchups tonight. First on ESPN2 at 6:30 Eastern, Mike Stoops in Arizona heads into Tiger Stadium to take on Jamarcus Russell and LSU. Over on ESPN at 7:45 Eastern, Steve Spurrier hoping to help South Carolina break a 4-game losing streak against Georgia. So those games coming up tonight.
Pam, that's a dangerous game for LSU. Arizona swarms on defense, and who does LSU play next week? Auburn. So they can't look ahead. Arizona's dangerous there.
And Yelton, the freshman punter, is back in. He had his only punt of the day blocked, but the other punter, Warren, has low snaps, or low punts coming out of there. So they go back to Yelton. He does get it off. Doesn't spend much time in the air, but he gets a terrific roll. So finally, a punt that works out. 51-yard punt with the roll. Let's go back to Brian Kenny.
Pam, getting ready.
All right, Brian, we will see you in about a minute 47 of playing time. Let's see if Rutgers can indeed score before the half hits. They go underneath to Leonard, and Brian Leonard picks up a first down and a lot more. Vontae Davis with the stop.
I'm anxious to see Mike Teal here in this situation. With a minute 36 left on the clock, see if he can take his team down the field and score.
From the 44, Teal, nobody is even close to Dennis Campbell, who was stopped about a yard short of the first down. Campbell, a redshirt freshman.
Have all those underneath weapons with Leonard.
Up top again, he's going for the end zone, and Campbell, he was covered nicely by Justin Harrison. The clock stops with a minute 11 left to go, and it's 3rd and 1.
Jimmy Dykes and I talked to Mike Teal before the game. He said, I'm excited about starting at home for the first time. He's played really well here in the first half. Benefit of good field position and getting a lead fast.
Making only his 5th career start is Mike Teal, who backed up Ryan Hart. But this is his first start at Rutgers. And that incompletion snapped 6 straight completions for Teal. Leonard breaking free from a would-be tackler and picking up the first down. Clock stops with a minute 6 left to move the chains.
Really impressed with Brian Leonard. Here he runs out, makes a little move, picks up the first down, stops the clock.
And Teal, all the time in the world looking for his tight end Clark Harris, but he threw that a little bit low and outside.
That's one he'd like to have back. He had Clark Harris open, looked like he double pumped the football. It didn't get all of it on it.
So now 2nd and 10 with a minute 1 left to go from the 27. Teal with Leonard to his left, goes on top to Campbell, quick hitter. His 2nd catch of the day, stopped by Lehman, who's been busy. 8 yards, clock keeps running. See, Rutgers just with that one timeout left. Teal gets it batted down at the line again, looking for Campbell, but David Lindquist was able to get a hand on it. Lindquist at 6'3", a sophomore from Highland Park, Illinois. And it's 4th and 3, and we're going to see Jeremy Ito try his first field goal of the day. I saw him in pregame warm-ups. He hit a 55-yarder with room to spare. His career high is a 52, a career long in the Insight Bowl in December.
Greg Schiano says he's one of the 5 best kickers in the country.
This one from 37 yards out, the junior from California, as Rutgers tries to add to this already big lead. 37 yards is nothing for Jeremy Ito. So Rutgers has found another way to get on the scoreboard, this time with a field goal, and the lead is now 30-0. Let's go down to Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy.
Well, quite a story today for Illinois senior running back E.B. Halsey. He grew up in nearby Elizabeth, New Jersey, a town known for great high school football, but also known as an area with streets full of gangs and crimes and drug dealers. He was one of 9 children, has vivid memories of his mom working 3 jobs to help keep a roof over their head and clothes on their back. Even remembers his dad, who struggled with heroin and actually died of AIDS at the age of 35. He was selected this year to deliver the student-athlete speech at this year's Big Ten kickoff luncheon. Part of that speech reads as follows. At the age of 13, I saw many of my friends go down the wrong path. Growing up, every teenager deals with peer pressure, and fitting in is hard to do anywhere. But for me, fitting in meant a life that I wish for no one to witness, because the closest heroes we had to look up to were the local drug dealers, and I knew I did not want to be like them because that life was temporary. Now that I look back on my past experiences growing up, I would not take any of it back because it made me the person that stands before you today. A fighter, a survivor, and a successful fighter he is. This is a kid that's already graduated with his degree in sports management. You're watching a young man right now, guys, that used football to create a very successful path for his life.
A great story. E.B. Halsey now is someone that the kids in Elizabeth can look up to as Pierre Thomas takes the kickoff out of the end zone up to around the 20. But boy, Halsey, Mike, what a great story for that kid.
He has a lot of passion. Got a standing ovation for that speech. But he's the kind of guy, he's a team player. He wants the team to win, whatever he can do for them. But Jimmy made the point. He said he has passion for football. Football allowed him a chance to get out of that life.
It's 60 ticket requests, a lot of folks here. His mom, we believe, seeing him for the first time play since high school as E.B. gets the ball. His given name, by the way, Ibrahim, or E.B. for short, so it's not E.B. for initials for anything, but E.B. for Ibrahim. And he's been a terrific story, but Brian Leonard and company, they were just swarming over Illinois in the first half. Let's go down to Jimmy.
Coach, you told your quarterback you don't have to win the football game for us, but don't lose it. How has he done in that area for you? What has he done well?
I think Mike's doing a good job. He's getting us in and out of the right plays. He's doing just fine.
You're up 30-0 at the half. What do you tell your kids at halftime to keep them focused?
We're fortunate to be up 30-0. We get an interception return and a punt block. We're not playing with the consistency that we did last week. This isn't good enough the way we're playing.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
He's up 30-0. They have scored in a variety of ways. A block punt, an interception return, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run, and a Jeremy Ito field goal. A lot of Illinois mistakes. Rutgers up 30-0 at the half. Coming up, let's go back now to Brian Kemp.
Pam, thank you so much. We're here in the ESPN Digital Center all throughout the day. A full day of college football for you, and WNBA finals as well, coming up 3:30 Eastern time, but then Arizona, LSU, Oregon, and Fresno State at 10 o'clock Eastern. Let's get back to Ann Arbor right now. Well, Illinois came from behind last time around, last year against Rutgers, down by 20. This time, down by 30. Rutgers looking good, up 30-zip at the half. Back to that, but a lot more college football coming up this afternoon, including the second half of this one. Devin McCourty putting Rutgers up 30-0. Got more highlights coming up. Take a look at Akron, Ole Miss. It's 30-0. Rutgers over Illinois again last year, and you can imagine what the halftime chat is about. Rutgers lost a 20-point lead, but up by 30 at the half. More highlights coming up after this. Coming up here, Rutgers with a show of strength early on against Illinois. This year, can they hold on? 30-0 at the half. Pam Ward, Mike Gottfried return after this.
The Pontiac Performance Half.
This telecast from Rutgers is available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma. And what these folks have seen in high definition is a high definition good first half for Rutgers, as bad as it can get for Illinois, down 30-0 as we get ready to start the third quarter. Pam Ward joined by Mike Gottfried. And I guess if you're Illinois, you've got to be thinking, well, it can't get much worse, can it?
No, every mistake you could make in the first half, they made. It's got to get better in the second half.
And let's take a look at some of the things that went wrong. And there were a myriad of things that went wrong as we take a look at our game track. First thing, Joe Ratigan with this great punt.
That was a good play in this football game because Ratigan changed the football field around, set up this poor protection in the blocking of the punt for a touchdown. Then Tim Bracing made some mistakes. I think they need to come back with Tim Bracing. They need that's early in the year. You can't let him be down like he is right now.
They did go to Juice Williams at quarterback, but the statistics.
Yeah, you look at this, 0 for 6 on third down, and then 0 for 14. So everything that could go wrong, 3 turnovers, did go wrong.
And it could be a lot worse because Rutgers, that one turnover they had was Ray Rice fumbling about 6 inches from the end zone. And there is Rice. Had a terrific game last week against North Carolina, over 200 yards so far today. He has 73 yards on 14 carries. That's still over 5 yards per carry, but you know Ray is going to be upset about giving the ball up near the goal line as he tried to stretch for a touchdown. The ball was punched out. So Illinois down 30-0 at the half, gets the ball first, and they will do so from the 20-yard line as we head down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, Pam, I talked to Illinois head coach Ron Zook as he came out of the locker room, and that was my question to him. Who will be your quarterback in the second half? He said, you know what, Timmy Brasic made bad decisions. He rushed things. He played nervous. He said, I'm going with Juice Williams. It's very important that I make sure the young quarterback has confidence right now. He doesn't want Juice Williams to lose his confidence in this ball game on the road, guys.
What do you think of that decision, Mike?
Well, I think it's a good decision, but you don't want Tim Brasic, who's going to be your quarterback, to lose confidence either in himself.
So Brasic starts the second half on the bench. He was 4 for 9 in the first half, 4 completions and 2 interceptions. One of them returned for a touchdown. Williams going on top, and this has been the script all day. Big-time pressure from Rutgers. Eric Foster that time in with the sack.
Eric Foster makes a good play on Juice Williams, number 56. The offensive line not doing a good job protecting.
Foster, the most talented defensive lineman, according to the coaches at Rutgers, gets his first sack of the season, and it's 2nd and 16 for the Illini. This time, Williams throwing underneath, middle screen, complete to Rashard Mendenhall, who led them in receptions in last week's win over Eastern Illinois, but only picks up a couple. There you see the Rutgers defense last season, very stout. Greg Schiano, he's his own defensive coordinator now for the 2nd straight year.
I like that because he stays in communication with the players. He said he enjoys coaching the players. Sometimes as a head coach, all you see is the problems.
And this time he gets hands-on. He is very much a communicator with his players. 3rd and 14, Illinois' first possession of the second half. Williams zips it too high for his intended receiver, Jody Ellis, the sophomore from Evanston, who used to be on the defensive side of the ball. And it's a 3 and out for Illinois to start the second half.
Education of a quarterback. That's what's happening to Juice Williams. There's nothing better than playing a young guy, but you're going to take some mistakes along the way.
And here is DeJuan Warren in. First time he's punted in this game. It was his first collegiate punt. This is his 4th punt of this game now, and that one rolls. And again, boy, terrific field position for Rutgers.
He's not going to make a living as a punter.
No. 27 yards on that punt for DeJuan Warren, who is a talented wide receiver, not so much as a punter. Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey is proud to bring you live aerial shots of today's game. New Jersey's oldest and largest health insurer is working to improve health literacy with an array of community-based programs. And boy, it's a spectacular day to watch a football game as you see the Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield blimp. Temperatures around 80 degrees. Warm on the field. Teal, well, he had his man, didn't he? He had Sean Tucker, but missed him.
You think anybody in that locker room at halftime at Rutgers said, hey, what happened to us last year? We were ahead, and all of a sudden we didn't fight with the same intensity, and all of a sudden we got beat. So I'm sure that was a rallying cry in the Rutgers coaching staff.
These two teams played in Champaign last year. Rutgers was up 27-7 midway through the third quarter, and Illinois came back to win in overtime. That tied for the biggest comeback in Illinois football history, down 20 in the second half. Ray Rice gets the football and takes it inside the 40, stopped by Antonio Steele. Let's go back to last year. September 3rd, the season opener for both teams. Brian Leonard with that highlight reel 83-yard touchdown run. That was a 20-point lead, but then Tim Brasic was good in this game. 3 touchdowns, 233 yards. And then the run in overtime to win it by Pierre Thomas. And Illinois takes it 33-30. Ron Zook, the first coach of Illinois since Mike White in 1980 to win his first game in charge. And Greg Schiano on the other side of the ball said really that loss helped his team, really helped define. He says it shaped our team for the entire season. As Teal got hit looking for Campbell, hit by Lehman, who's been very active in the middle. Jay Lehman on the other side of the football has really been a terrific leader for this Illinois team.
And Pam, when you look at Illinois, I'm sure they talk to their players about, we're going to find out who's going to fight, who's going to stay together, because that's about as lousy a first half as Ron Zook can have out of his players. So he needs effort in the second half. He's looking for guys that are going to lay it on the line.
Ratigan in for his third punt. Halsey lets it go over his head, and it dribbles into the end zone. So Juice Williams for the second time in this half going to lead the Illinois offense. He's the future of Illinois football. We'll see how he does in the present when we come back. Monday Night Football over to ESPN. Mike Tirico, Joe Theismann, and the wonderfully talented Tony Kornheiser in the booth. And we have a doubleheader for you coming up on Monday. Right now, Juice Williams continuing in the game at quarterback for Illinois, the true freshman from Chicago. Running a little option. Holds on to the football. Ramel Meekins able to grab him for about a 2-yard gain.
Pam, I told you about freshmen. When school starts, you got them in football for 2 days, and they're true freshmen. They're attentive, and you have them, and all of a sudden school starts, and the professor gives them homework, and the girls are sitting beside them. I mean, they hit a wall, and that's what happens to every freshman. And as a quarterback, you really have more to do because you have to read the defenses.
And remember, he's a true freshman, one of 14 true freshmen who played last week against Illinois. That's the most in the country. And Williams misfiring, trying to find Frank Lenti Jr. Lenti, the junior from South Holland, Illinois, is the son of a legend in Illinois. His dad, obviously, Frank Lenti Sr., has led Mount Carmel High School to 11 state titles, and has coached guys like Simeon Rice and Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, good program, good coach. Juice Williams, right now, he needs something good to happen for him. He needs a first down.
Boy, they need in a big way. They're 0 for 6 on 3rd and longs. They've really not had a 3rd and short all game. That 3rd and 6 is the best they have been able to manage. Williams, there's the escapability, but we have a holding penalty coming up. As Juice continues to juke, he loses his helmet. All that work for naught. Jamal Westerman finally getting a hold of Isaiah with that big helmet. Isaiah, his given name. Juice is his nickname.
Holding. Number 68, offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Jim Labonte coming into play tackle, called for that holding penalty. The 3rd holding penalty for Illinois in this game, so Juice comes off again.
3 and outs. Illinois on offense.
3 sacks for Illinois as Kyle Yelton now comes in to punt. Runs it. Going with his true freshman punter. High snap. Gets it off under pressure. And that one wobbles. And it is caught by Willie Foster, who made the fair catch signal and then started to run, and then the penalty comes down. Only a 25-yard punt, so the Yelton, Warren, still looking for answers in the punting game.
I want to go back, Pam. The best chance.
The left game on the receiving team. Receiver has the ball after signaling for a fair catch. 5-yard penalty and a 1st down.
The best chance Illinois has to get back in this game is to put Tim Bracey back, because he's a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing. Now, Juice Williams is the future.
But Bracek standing on the sidelines watching. 30-0 Rutgers lead.
Where should you be right up until kickoff?
You guessed it. ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by Lexus and the new 303 horsepower GS350 and new Nicorette Fruit Chill. Start chewing, start quitting.
This is the most historic place in all of college football because the first ever collegiate football game was played here November 6, 1869, right after the Civil War, as Rutgers took on Princeton in the first ever football game. 1869. Ray Rice gets the pitch and picks up about 8 or 9 yards as we head back to Brian Kenny. Brian.
Pam, they're back out on the field in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Central Michigan after the weather delay.
And bad weather moving out of the Ann Arbor area. Michigan breaking on top. Here it's 2nd and 2 for Rutgers, who once again started in Illinois territory. They have started on that side of the field in 5 of their 8 possessions. And Clark Harris, a very talented tight end, picks up another 1st down.
They have so many weapons, and if Mike Teal plays like he's playing today, this is a team now that's going to have a real big year. They got a chance to get off 4-0 with the schedule before they start league play. This is a very talented offensive team.
They host Ohio and then Howard University before they head into conference play at South Florida. They had a win on the road at North Carolina last week and are just chewing up Illinois. Rice trying to get outside, and he does just that. Good block from Sam Johnson, one of the tight ends. Derek Walker with the stop.
Rice gives you the home run effect. Every time he gets the football, Jimmy Dykes talked about the big offensive line. You can't find Rice. This guy is explosive. Last week, over 200 yards, heading for 100 this week.
87 so far, still averaging over 5 yards per carry. Rice from New Rochelle, New York. Had his 2nd career 200-yard game last week against North Carolina. He got the carry again. Chris Norwell making the stop.
I like what Brian Leonard said too, Pam, to us when we talked to him. He said, I like blocking for Ray Rice. Now here's a guy that's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's interested only in one thing, winning. He said he remembers when we were 1-10, so he doesn't want that to happen again.
And then last year they go all the way to the bowl game, first bowl game since '78. Brian Leonard said that he has no problem giving up his body for Ray Rice. He said simply, I love that kid. No snap on that play. And then Ray Rice coming to Rutgers after Syracuse made a coaching change, changed his mind, and really Rutgers is starting to get a lot of the recruits that used to go to places like Penn State and Syracuse and Pittsburgh.
Well, with the fact that Syracuse is down.
Penalty remains third down.
Syracuse down right now. Penn State was down for a couple years. You have the chance. Everybody comes into this state to recruit. Nebraska, Wisconsin, Iowa, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Syracuse. And what Rutgers needs to do is keep the local guys home.
Greg Schiano getting a lot of Florida players. He was a defensive coordinator at Miami, but as the years go by, more and more kids are looking to stay home in Jersey, and there are a lot of talented high school players who come out of here as Teal's pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So 4th down for the Scarlet Knights. One of the few series that don't go their way. Jeremy Ito, the talented place kicker, kicked a 37-yarder in the second quarter. And now comes in for a 39-yard attempt. And he was just booming them before the game. Easily hit one that I saw from 55 yards out, this one from 39. And he gets it again. So Ito now 2 for 2 in field goals, and Rutgers extends its lead to 33-0. Who is the #1 team in the country? They will fight it out tonight in Austin on ABC.
Not by my poll.
No, the Mike Godfrey top 10. We're going to show it to you later. Mike is an independent player. At Louisville there last week. We'll see what the Michael Bush injury has done to his thinking. Right now, Rutgers, after Jeremy Ito hit his 12th straight field goal, heading back to last season. Chris Duvalt now in as a returner, takes a knee. And Illinois starting at its 20 as we head back down to the field in Jimmy Dykes.
Pam, I was visiting with Illinois head coach Ron Zook during the pregame warm-ups, and he said there's no way he would be where he is today had it not been for our own Mike Godfrey giving him a shot as an assistant coach years and years ago. He went on to say that every decision he makes as a head football coach has to first pass through the Mike Godfrey filter, and what he means by that is he always thinks, what would coach do or what did he do in this same situation? And down 33-0, coach, I got to think you might be getting a phone call from him after this one, huh?
Jimmy, warm up the bus. That's what I'd say right now. But he has a good football team. His young team, 70 players, 35 young guys. They're going to play football. They're going to learn. And it takes a tough time. It takes a long time to build a program. This program was down, and he's going to resurrect this program.
They do, as Mike mentioned, just so many young guys. No team in the country played as many freshmen as they did last season. And he said, we got on the bus, and he said we had 70 guys on the bus, 35 of them were brand new. And Juice Williams and company picked up a first down on that last play as Williams stays in the game. Hands it off to Pierre Thomas with some rare running room, picks up the first down.
Thomas, the ball carrier.
Picks up 14 yards. Now, a lot of coaches, a lot of very good coaches have gotten off to rough starts, as you can see, but you stick with them and things can turn around.
Yeah, Frank Beamer, 5-17 in the first 2 years. Barry Alvarez, 6 wins. Kirk Ferentz, 4 wins. Schiano right here at Rutgers, 3 wins. So you have to turn the attitude around. It takes time.
In the last 3 years, Illinois is a combined 6-28. Of course, one of those years was Ron Turner's final season. Remember, they did win the Big Ten championship just 5 years ago. The next year, they went 4-7. Since then, just a bottomless pit, 6-28.
I forgot to recruit. And when you look at this football team, a lot of things have to happen, but you find good things that happen along the way. This is a young season. We're on in the second week this team can win 3-4 games this year, that would be good for them.
Only won 2 games last year. They won their first 2 games of the year, and then once the Big Ten season hit, it was over. Williams with the rare opportunity to throw the football, and he goes near Jeff Cumberland, number 17, as tight end. And 3rd and 10 for Illinois. Actually, they'll take that because their average yards to go has been over 11 in this game. They've had some penalties, sacks, just again, everything that could go wrong for Illinois. This is actually a pretty good quarter for them because Rutgers has only scored 3 points. Juice Williams now 2 for 8 for 14 yards and facing a 3rd and 10. Pressure up the middle, and Juice goes down. The 4th sack of the day for Rutgers. This one from Jamal Westerman. Sophomore who can really run, and he proves it with his 5th career sack. 4 sacks today for Rutgers by 4 different guys.
Juice Williams has to learn he's got to put the ball up. But the protection today from the offensive line has not been good.
Yep, giving up the 4 sacks, many other hurries. And the punting game is non-existent. That was worn in once again.
It did hit a Rutgers player, so Illinois gets the ball.
But Illinois gets it back on the break.
Trick play. Went past the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, he can't be touched. Warren punched the ball. You see it hit the Rutgers player.
It hit Tim Brown.
And Illinois' offense back on the field. And Tim Bracey is back on the field at quarterback.
Just what you called for, Mike.
I think he gives you the best chance to score. Juice Williams is the future. We're going to review that, but I think clearly it was downfield.
All right, you got to give me a chance to say this name. Michael Manawanui coming up with the fumble, with the loose ball. Or They call him He is from his dad is Hawaiian. Manawanui. I hope I'm saying it right.
Look at the letters.
There you go. That's a lot of vowels. Another true freshman for this team from Bloomington, Illinois, has yet to catch a pass.
Close to the line of scrimmage, but I think it was past it.
And I don't think you can see it other than punt. He barely got a toe on that football. Looks like it clearly hit Tim Brown.
And Greg Schiano.
The play stands as called on the field.
Greg Schiano's going to tell Tim Brown, hey, that's a fluke.
Yeah. Cannot anticipate that happening. The ball barely getting over the line of scrimmage. So Bracek back in the football game. As he relieves Juice Williams, Bracek did start. But he was only 4 for 9 for 36 yards with 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. So it has been a rough and ugly game for the Illinois offense. As E.B. Halsey picks up about 3. Let's go back to Brian Kenny.
And we go back to Virginia Tech and North Carolina. Brandon Orr doing a lot of work here. 17 carries already for 84 yards. Punches it through for yet another touchdown, 21-3. Hokies on top of the 3rd. Pam?
So North Carolina, the team that Rutgers beat last week on the road, down big to Frank Beamer's club. Illinois down 33-0 to Rutgers. And Bracek goes down. Now that's grounding only if he is inside the tackle box.
Well, they have a receiver out there, Warren, so I think they're going to let him go with that.
Meekins was all over him.
John Horn was out there, so you can't call grounding.
So Meekins, there was another New Jersey product, wasn't highly recruited, coming to Rutgers and has had an impressive career as a flag is down in the Rutgers defensive backfield.
Number 14.
Because Illinois took too long.
5-yard penalty remains third
Meekins,
down.
Really a great story for this local kid making good. Let's go down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, Pam, Ramel Meekins came to Rutgers campus 3 years ago as a non-recruited walk-on, and now 3 years later he's on scholarship and also voted the team captain. After playing in 5 games as a true freshman, he then joined the Rutgers wrestling team, actually finished 12th in the nation in the heavyweight division that year. He's concentrated on football ever since, and by the way, the last time a Scarlet Knight went from walk-on to team captain, Gary Brackett. Yeah, the Gary Brackett that is now the defensive captain for the Indianapolis Colts.
Meekins from Westwood, New Jersey, loves his hometown as Grayson is stripped of the football. Jamal Westerman, the defensive end, again getting into the thick of things, but Illinois able to hang on to it.
Well, the pocket just collapses on Bracey. See the undersized defensive line of Rutgers just breaks down the pass protection.
Westerman with his second sack. Kim Millington pouncing on that football. We haven't talked about Millington. He's a transfer from Oklahoma, the best offensive lineman for Illinois. As that punt is off by Yelton, and a flag goes down as he was hit right after he punted the football.
Derrick Roberson
Running into the kicker, number 11, defense.
That should be only a 5-yard penalty. And not enough for the first down.
Running into the kicker, a 5-yard penalty, previous spot, replay fourth down.
All right, so because it's only a 5-yard penalty, obviously, or it is not an automatic first down, so they're going to punt it again.
practice.
Practice, okay.
Practice. We need practice here in the punting game. Take every chance you can get.
Kyle Yelton, the true freshman from Chesterton, Indiana, gets to try it again. And that one is on a line drive. Willie Foster lets it go. Yelton's average will be helped by this dribbler as it is killed around the 7-yard line. A 51-yard punt for Yelton. Something positive, finally, for this Illinois punt game.
And Pam, that's what you look for. Just that little thing. Positive things will help you.
Coming up tonight on ABC, Ohio State and Texas, number 1 versus number 2. Remember, Texas getting that huge win in Columbus last year, helping them to go on to the national championship game. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
Who's going to win that game, man?
I'm taking Texas. And I know who you like.
I'm against you.
I know.
I think Ohio State, the best quarterback's going to win in that game. I like Texas, so.
Troy Smith with more experience than Colt McCoy as another helmet comes flying off. Ray Rice getting another run. Let's take a look at Mike Gottfried's top 10. It was Louisville last week, but with Michael Bush, you drop him all the way to 5th.
Really, this is the only top 10. Florida State, I had them 2. I moved them up to 1. Ohio State, Texas, whoever wins that will be 2. USC, impressive. Louisville, I dropped to 5 with the injury to Bush. Auburn, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, I put it 9th.
All right, I'm going to ask you about that after the second one play. Rice again gets the first down as another Illinois helmet comes off. Now, Mike, last week had Notre Dame 11th, not even in your top 10. They played Georgia Tech, didn't look particularly good in that game. They win in Atlanta, and now you move them into the top 10?
One on the road. I think they'll beat Penn State today because Penn State's offensive line, I'm not sure about them. I think they'll beat them. And then if they get by Michigan, look out, Notre Dame's on a roll.
All right,
so I'm anticipating.
Oh, so you put them at number 9, an anticipatory move of them winning against Penn State.
You got it, Pam. You got it.
All right, we'll see. As Carson gets up, Sam Carson shaken up. Dad played football at Eastern Illinois.
What a block by Dennis Leonard. You talk about it. He knocked somebody's helmet off. Brian Leonard.
Brian Leonard, the fullback who came into this season with over 2,300 career yards, who came into this game.
Here's the block. Crushing block.
And Alan Ball, a 6'1 senior from Detroit, on the crushing end of that block. Rice now over 100 yards, his 7th career 100-yard game, 2nd in a row. He had 201 against North Carolina last week. And Brian Leonard blocking and leading the way for Ray Rice. Rice has now gone for over 100 yards in half of his career games, 7 of 14, and they give him the ball again on first down. Jay Lehman now with 7 tackles for Illinois.
When you play Rutgers, they can keep the ball away from you with this offense. Short passing game, get the ball in Ray Rice's hands. Brian Leonard, you got Clark Harris, wide receivers step forward. This is going to be a difficult offense to stop in the Big East.
Remember, they were 7-5 last year, their first winning record since 1992, first bowl game in 27 years. They haven't started 2-0 since the year 2000. And let's go out on a limb here and say they're going to start 2-0.
2-0, 4-0.
Okay, you're going to
say 4-0.
You're going to give them the wins over Ohio and Howard here. Teal with plenty of time. Rice with blockers in front of him picks up another first down for Rutgers. Here is Rutgers' schedule. They beat North Carolina on the road last week. They got Illinois today. And when they get into the meat of the Big East schedule, what trouble do you see there, Coach?
I'm going to say 7 or 8 wins. They got problems with Louisville, West Virginia, Pittsburgh on the road, and Navy, and maybe South Florida.
Of course, Navy playing that game in Annapolis. Navy, good football team running the option. But Rutgers looking to get to its 2nd straight bowl game. Greg Schiano doing a wonderful job as Rice on first down doesn't get much. And Schiano told us yesterday that when he took this job, he was the defensive coordinator at Miami, that, we asked him, did people tell you it was a dumb move or laugh at you? And he said, yes, they did. They thought it was, but he came up with some conditions for coming up here to Rutgers. He's from this area, grew up in New Jersey, and knew he could win here.
I got a punchline for this, but I'm waiting for Jimmy Dykes with his 30 things.
Mike Fladell is down on the field, the starting left guard, first year as a full-time starter. He's been shaken up for the Scarlet Knights. All right, Jimmy, tell us why Greg Schiano came here.
Well, he said, talking to his wife prior to taking this job, he said, sweetheart, there's 30 things that I have to have in order for us to make the move to Rutgers and put this thing together. He said yesterday, during the 2-day interview process, he went and met with all people that were involved in promising the 30 things that he needed, like updating facilities and having money in the program and hiring the folks he wanted to. And all those 30 things have been met now. He's a perfect 30 for 30. I think the list should have included 31 things, because yesterday when Mike Godfrey was watching tape in the football office, the tape machine went down and our own coach only got to watch 10 plays. He needed 31 things on that list, not 30.
Hey, Jimmy, it blew up right in front of me.
They're going to check on that tape player. Is Brian Leonard able to catch that? His 5th catch of the day as the 3rd quarter winds down. Greg Schiano likes that hands-on stuff, and he really is kind of a coach who will communicate with his players before the game, during the game.
Talks to them. He likes coaching them. When you're involved with the team and you can coach them a position, it's good, because sometimes as a head coach, the only time you see a player is when he's in trouble.
Well, for Ciano, not any trouble at all so far. 33-0. Rutgers leading Illinois as we head to the fourth quarter. When you come back, we will let you know how you can vote for today's most valuable player of this game. Rutgers up 33-0 as we get ready for the fourth quarter. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and we ask you, who is today's most valuable player? It is time to vote. Who do you think should get the MVP of this game? Text the letter that corresponds to your player selection. Send your vote, A, B, C, or D, to the number 43776 from your cell phone. We'll tell you who won later in the game. Each vote costs 99 cents, plus standard messaging rates may apply.
I know who I would vote for, and the letter is D.
Close to another first down for Rutgers as Ray Rice gets it.
He is a complete player. I'm really impressed with this guy, Brian Leonard. He's an unselfish guy, doesn't care if he gets the ball. He wants to win. 4 carries, 8 yards, 5 receptions, 42 yards. He's blocked all day. He is a great player. Going to be a great pro.
The lead blocker for Ray Rice, who is over 100 yards, and those numbers aren't going to pop out at you, but as Mike mentioned, he has been a terrific blocker and a great leader on this team. Now a senior, and hold on to the football, maybe gets a yard or 2 on that carry. As Rutgers leads Illinois, Rutgers home opener in Piscataway, New Jersey, taking on an Illinois team that fought back from a 20-point deficit last year in Champaign to win in overtime. But this game has been all Rutgers. Ray Rice, who ran for 201 yards last week against North Carolina with 108 and counting, does have a touchdown and fumbled near the right at the goal line, or else he'd have 2 touchdowns. And it has been all Scarlet Knights. The Illinois offense, I don't even think anemic is the right word to describe the Illinois offense today. Coming around is Dennis Campbell, who tries to spin away, but that's a very good tackle by Anthony Thornhill. Thornhill, the linebacker from Detroit, coming up with a good tackle.
Thornhill stayed home. Sometimes when a team runs a reverse, you're trailing it. He stayed at home.
There's something positive for the Illini, who have given up just 1 field goal here in the second half. If you're just joining us, Rutgers scored on a block punt, an interception return, a touchdown pass, and a touchdown run, along with a field goal in the first half alone. It was an ugly, ugly first quarter, especially for Illinois. 3rd and 10. And Teal goes underneath, finds his favorite target, tight end Clark Harris, but he is stopped well short of the first down. And this is the longest drive of the day for either team, as it went 10 plays, and Rutgers will punt.
A lot of pluses. Jay Lehman made a good play there. He's played well all day. Just have to find out who's going to be the quarterback.
Remember,
this football team.
They got a lot of games left to play after this one. They got 10 games, got to go into the Big Ten.
They'll beat Syracuse next week at home.
There's the prediction. They have Syracuse at home in Champaign. Syracuse, another program that's been struggling lately. Ratigan, well, he's had a good day punting. Fair catch by Halsey at the 10. And that's where Illinois will take over when we come back. Remember, you can vote for the MVP. Should it be the quarterback, Mike Teal? We're coming back. Roethlisberger calling that game coming up. It's got to be closer than this one. 33-0. Rutgers leading Illinois. This game presented by Pennzoil, as the Illini try to get something going. Brace it, the quarterback, and let's head down to Jimmy Dykes.
Well, big number 69, offensive tackle Akeem Millington for Illinois, was actually born and raised in Trinidad, moved to the United States in the 6th grade, and then took up football as a 9th grader. The problem was he only knew about soccer and cricket growing up in Trinidad. He went to the library and actually got a book entitled Football for Dummies. Now, after this play, I'm going to tell you where it went from that point.
Well, it's landed him in the Division I school, so obviously it worked. But he had to kind of learn on the fly as that pass is caught by Rashard Mendenhall. Mendenhall has shown some nice flashes today as he gets his second catch of the day. Let's go back down to Jimmy.
Well, after reading the book Football for Dummies, he then went to the practice field and started playing, but he made some mistakes early. When he was the center, the quarterback said hut. He stood up and just turned around and handed the football to the quarterback. The next day in practice, he took his football protective cup and actually tried to use it as a knee pad. So this is a guy that's come a long, long ways. Ron Zook said he's an awfully good one. We might just want to make sure that his equipment's all in the right place.
Went to Oklahoma, was slated to start for the Sooners, and a little bit of a falling out there, and then he had a cousin who tragically died and wanted to come back closer to home and signed on with Rutgers as Brasic gets a first down pending a penalty marker. But Millington has come a long way. Grew up playing soccer.
Number 76.
That one's coming back. Miles with the hold.
10 yards from the spot of the foul. Remains third down.
So Millington playing soccer, and he was a good fisherman. He says he wouldn't mind being a professional fisherman. He caught an 87-pound jackfish down there in Trinidad. That's a big fish, but he's a big man.
Soccer and fishing, now football. Illinois, I keep thinking about this. I've had days like this where you just everything goes wrong. And Ron Zook is going to look at this tape, maybe burn it, but then look at it and try to figure out where you go from here. This is a young football team. It's a young season. They're going to play some good football this year. He's on the road to rebuilding this program.
Brasic somehow escapes a lot of pressure. Still is stopped well short of the first down by Courtney Green, but he was fortunate to get away from what would have been another sack. He's already been sacked 5 times today.
The front and the defense of Rutgers has been impressive.
We've talked a lot about the ineptness or ineptitude of this Illinois offense, but you're right, Mike. This Rutgers defense has been very impressive. Yelton's punt fielded by Willie Foster. Foster, very talented punt returner. Taken down, and another flag flies after a 30-yard punt, and a 7-yard return. Should be a personal foul against the Illini. A lot of frustration now for Ron Zook's squad. And if you're Ron Zook, what can you possibly say in the locker room after this game?
Dead ball, personal foul, late hit on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down, Rutgers.
What you do, Pam, is you teach. You teach, you keep a good attitude, you keep talking about the good things that happen. I remember one time we got beat 58-0. One of the teams I coached in the first game got beat 35-7. Took all the best plays out of both those games, which was about 14, and said when we can play 4 quarters like we play these 14 plays, you're going to win.
Let's head over to Brian Kenny now. Brian.
Pam, thank you very much. With this game in hand, again, 33-0. I'm going to send you over briefly, if we can, to Akron and NC State. That game close right now, 7-3, fourth quarter underway. Again, Akron hung tough against Penn State last week in the rain. Again, Akron, NC State. We'll keep you up to date on Rutgers. Here's Clay Matvick and Brian Kinchin on ESPN.
ESPN2's College Football is presented by Pennzoil. Not just oil, Pennzoil. And in part by Hummer, like nothing else.
Just to get you up to date, Brian Kenny back here with you. Less than 6 minutes to go. Still 33-0, Illinois punting out of its own territory. So with that in hand, we'll send you back to NC State and Akron. Clay Matvick and Brian Kinchin on ESPNU. Back here with you just for a moment before we send you back out to NC State and Akron. Final moments of Rutgers and Illinois. Let's send you back to Pam Ward and Mike Gottfried in New Jersey.
All right, Brian, and it hasn't changed much. Illinois still has not converted a first down or a third down in this game. Now 0 for 12. They have 13 possessions, 10 punts, 2 interceptions, and a fumble, and this is their 14th possession. Juice Williams, the true freshman quarterback, handing it off to Evie Halsey from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Gary Watts with the stop. Here's our MVP voting, and you select. How about this, Coach? You got it.
2 for 2.
Brian Leonard.
2 for 2. Brian Leonard is definitely the most valuable player in this game.
Even though Rice ran for over 100 yards, Leonard was his primary blocker. Made some nifty catches out of the end zone or out of the backfield, as Rutgers wins it in impressive fashion by the final of 33-0. They start their season 2-0 as we head you back to Brian Kenny.
There we go. So there's the sense of closure. That's the final. Rutgers with an impressive win. Send you back again.